everybody should attempt at having a garden, because a garden teaches us patience, it gives us wisdom, and it gives us life lessons without having to go through hardship and pain and suffering. So this is how I learned about patience and rewards and how we get what we deserve. Having a strong desire for something will push us into taking action too fast and for the wrong reasons. Having a garden is something that I always wanted to do. I've always desired to have a garden, but I didn't have the space for it. So when I finally got a house with a big yard, I said, now I can have the garden that I always wanted. I wanted a garden full of flowers and roses and fruit trees and vegetables. So I went straight to the nursery, and I wanted my garden to be bountiful like already. It never crossed my mind to think that a garden took 9 months at least. But no, I went to the store, got a bunch of potted plants. I don't even spend hundreds of dollars. And I come home and there's nowhere to put the garden because the yard is full of weeds. It had been neglected for too long. The iceplant just overtook it. And I was like, where am I going to put this? And so everything had to wait on the side. All my potted plants had to wait on the side until the land some spots got cleared. And then as soon as I had a spot, I go put in the pot. Unfortunately, yes, I saw great progress. But it took a whole week to clear out the ice plant. So by the time I got to putting in my pots, a lot of them had dried up. I didn't know how to put them in, and so a lot of them got root shock and died. So I had a garden, a beautiful garden, for about a week because a lot of them just died. A lot of the seeds that I put in never sprouted, and the weeds just came back. And that was a waste of money and time, and it was very frustrating. But I did not give up on my dream, and I said, oh, okay, no, I want my garden, and I am going to get my fruitful garden. And this time I prepared more. I got some gardening books so I could learn what to plant and what month. Instead of buying the potted flowers and herbs, I decided to use seeds. I just got seeds for everything, and I said I am going to be patient, and I am going to go out every day, pull out the weeds while they're small. This time I did not let them get big. As soon as I saw them, I pulled them out. I was gentle with watering the seeds because I didn't want to wash them away. So I was very gentle. I was worried because sometimes it would rain so hard, and I was thinking, oh, maybe the seeds just got washed away and I'm just here waiting for nothing happens. But still, I kept watering that empty piece of the piece of dirt there that was empty, but I kept watering it gently. And it was an everyday thing, and I had faith that it was gonna sprout someday, and that someday I would have beautiful flowers and fruit. And it took a whole 9 months until some came out sooner, some came out later. But by 9 months or a year, I had so much. I had a variety of lettuces, green beans, rosemary, lavender, herbs, roses, wildflowers. These were my favorite right here, the poppies. It's a beautiful thing. It's just so rewarding, and it was so much worth the effort. And what I learned from this experience is that sometimes we want something for such a long time that we're presented with an opportunity, with the piece of land or the person, and you get all excited and you want to see the results already, and you give it your all. but you're not doing it in the right way. I can say that I gave it my all on the first attempt. I had no limits as far as what I was spending. So in a way, I was giving it on my all, buying 50 packets of seeds and 100 pots of flowers. And yes, it was instant gratification, but it died off too soon because I didn't know how to take care of it. And this time around, I learned because I kept a journal. I had a garden journal. Okay. And I would go back to the mistakes I did so that I wouldn't be repeating them. And that's much of life. We keep a journal. That way we don't keep repeating the same mistakes. We prepare our mind before we start on that project so that that project gives us good results. Even though we may be thinking, oh, I'm giving it my all, I'm giving it all my energy, but are you doing it right? It takes the same effort to go put in a seed in July as it is to go put a seed in October. But the result is not going to be the same because you're doing it in the wrong time. And probably you're putting it in the wrong type of soil as well. And so that's what happens a lot of times. We put in the energy into the wrong place at the wrong time. And sometimes we're just too impatient. Like I would get impatient in that I would go put in the jalapeno seeds in there. Nothing would happen. I would just assume, okay, nothing's happening here. That jalapeno's never going to sprout. And then I go in and put another seed in there, and that would be like a tomato seed, for example. And then before I knew it, the jalapenos were sprouting next to the tomato. I was just being too impatient. And so when you plant that seed, you gotta be aware that that little seed is not going to go directly up right away. That little seed, that desire that you have, is first going to establish itself under the ground to build that strong foundation. And you're not going to go pick at it every day and see if the roots are coming. No, you just leave it there and have faith that it's going down, it's growing its roots first, and it's becoming strong, and eventually it's going to sprout. And that little delicate sprout that you see there, it's not so delicate anymore. It's not going to be washed away with that first rain or the first storm, because underneath it has strong roots. So that's patience. And just because you don't see the results right away doesn't mean you're going to stop watering it. And that's persistence. And persistence, patience, constant attention, that will give you any results that you don't even expect. There'll be results that are going to be super rewarding, more than you can imagine. Like when I put in my wildflower seeds, I thought, oh, maybe I'll get a few flowers. I had like 20 variety of flowers. Everything just grew. Every day I would make a fresh bouquet of flowers. It is amazing how patience, persistence, constantly, faith, all of that is going to reward you more than you can imagine. And acting in haste will give you the result. It will give you what you want, but it's not going to be long lasting. It'll only be temporary satisfaction, and you'll end up frustrated. So I wrote down this talk, so feel free to read it, and also remember to subscribe